Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Throw Me Away Daddy, 68-6. Am I the beehole for turning my wife's family away at the door on Christmas? For context, my wife and I have been together for more than a decade. In that time, her family has been awesome. The only exceptions are my wife's paternal aunt and uncle. The two have the tendency to do really odd things and then act like it was normal. For instance, a few years ago, they stood up during the middle of a family dinner, raised their hands like a ref holding a champion boxer's hand, and announced they were moving to the lake before sitting down. No mention of which lake it was, no additional context. Nothing. After what felt like an eternity as we all stared at each other awkwardly, my wife's father asked, "Which lake?" This prompted his sister to begin bawling her eyes out and screeching about how we weren't being supportive. More recently, my wife and I bought a house in the same city as her parents, and so for the first time, we decided to host Christmas. The grandparents and the parents are getting old, and we thought it would be a nice gesture, so we made sure to send invites a month in advance and followed up by a text message with everyone who said they were coming. The only thing we asked was that people not bring their pets. My wife has an absolutely terrible dog allergies, to her own dismay as she desperately wants to foster a dog. And her aunt and uncle have a history of doing things like showing up with a literal pack of dogs they happen to be pet sitting last minute for. The email was very clear on this. Cue Christmas Day, and my wife's aunt and uncle show up 2 hours late with their brand new Mastiff. When I opened the door, the dog started going nuts and howling. Well, her uncle scolded it to stop. I tried to politely explain this wasn't acceptable and that they need to leave. But my wife's aunt started crying and screaming about how mean I was being. Eventually they left. But on the day of, and for the last few weeks since, I've gotten mixed reactions from family and friends. I'm not on Facebook, but apparently my wife's aunt made a long post about how we ruined Christmas by forcing them to drive 2 hours for Christmas dinner, only to turn them away heartlessly because they didn't feel comfortable leaving their new dog at home. Our immediate family is supportive. Both of my wife's grandparents thought the scene was hilarious, apparently. And my in-laws thought it was nice to finally see someone stand up to the Looney Tunes duo. Their term, not mine, but think we should have found a way to allow them to stay even with the dog. The other aunts, uncles, and cousins think we went too far and should have compromised somehow. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, so I have to ask, am I the beehole? Edit. It's been pointed out that my spelling of bawling was incorrect. It has been fixed. Edit 2. There are a number of folks wanting to know more about the lake. I was trying not to tell this story, since it would be a biased thing towards them, looking even crazier, and I wanted the Christmas dinner situation to be judged fairly on its own. But here's the deal. Okay, I'm gonna do what OP says in the second edit, and I'm just gonna judge them on this story, but I'll still read the lake story after I'm done talking about it. OP, you are not the beehole. You even said in, the invite, do not bring your pets. They brought their pet and you sent them away. That whole compromise, I don't think you should have to compromise. You told them not to do that and they still did it. So they did it on purpose just to be jerks to you, or they're crazy. I don't know. People are giving them the nickname Looney Tunes duo. Your wife's allergic, so they're going to have that on them no matter what. I don't know how strong it is because I'm allergic to cats, even though, yeah, I love cats. I grew up with dogs though, so a dog person. So I get that, and that sucks when your eyes are burning. The only compromise I could see is maybe you letting them leave their dog in your backyard, but that dog's probably gonna defecate, and those two don't seem like the type that would go and clean up the defecation. So you probably have to deal with that, and I don't want to clean up some other person's pet's feces. So there's that too. Personally, I think you did the right thing turning them away because they did that on purpose, and I think even if you compromise, I think they still feel like they'll get away with it. And yeah, they do sound not all there, or maybe they're just doing it to be jerks. I'm not sure, but just on that story alone, yeah, you're not the beehole. Now, let's take a look at this lake story. My wife's aunt and uncle have always wanted to own a lake house. They literally had framed photos and posters all around their house for different lakefront properties. We all knew this for years. What we didn't know is that they were actively looking, nor did we know that they had put an offer on one that in their mind was their dream lake house. However, they believed that they had been keeping everyone in the loop. This meant when they stood up and triumphantly announced their success, they thought we were going to cheer and congratulate them. So when my wife's dad asked which lake, it was like him and everyone else by extension forgetting about not slash having a damn about them achieving their dream. After my wife's aunt calmed down, we finally got them both to explain why they were so upset, except they couldn't provide any documentation of having told anyone. They hadn't spoken to anyone in the family by phone since before they'd put the offer in. They also don't have any text messages, emails, or even Facebook posts showing that they had told us. What we gathered by the end is that they had told a mutual family friend and somehow expected us all to know by extension. So yeah, that's the story of the lake. Yeah, honestly, OP, after hearing that story, still the same decision. Yeah, maybe crazy's not the best word for it, but they're not all there. They are thinking you guys are, I guess they think you're all telepaths and can telepathically link to a mutual family friend and know what they're doing. And yeah, like you said, you're not in the loop, so I don't know what they were expecting. My answer to both these stories, not the beehole, even though the lake one's probably not a beehole story, but still not the beehole. Those people seem like stress, yeah. And our next one comes from Spock187. Am I the beehole for calling the cops on my new neighbor that won't stop knocking on my door for 3 days? My new renting neighbors have been using my address for many things: credit cards, shoes via FedEx, and a lot more junk. I have returned everything until the shoes arrived, and I figured out it was them because our address is only off by 1 digit. I showed the shoes to the lady at the door. She agreed that the name was hers, and I informed her about the past mail, as she asked if a guy named Kevin lives there. She said yes. I said, tell him to update the credit card company with the right address. That day, Kevin came by saying that his driver's license would come to my address. We told him no, he needs to change his address. He said I don't know how to, and left. Please note that if there's a warrant out for his arrest, the police will be bursting down my door instead of his, along with the DPS, thinking he lives there. Monday, less than a month later, the license shows up. I returned it by mail. He shows up knocking the same day. We didn't answer. Tuesday, he knocked 3 times for like 10 minutes each time. I decided to call the police because this man must be dumb if he doesn't understand no, and can't read between the lines when someone doesn't answer and doesn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to provoke any rage from this man that I do not know. The police showed up and told me to lock up, don't respond to him, and if he comes again, call them back. I don't have the trespassing sign, so they couldn't do anything on day 1. Wednesday, he knocked when I got home, grabbing my baby from daycare. I stepped out to see my guest's car, and a woman saw me, who was in the car, and started up their driveway. She left the car running and ran into the house. I ran into mine also. Guess what? Kevin came knocking again while my guests were here. He returned knocking after they left too. That was when I called the police again. The policeman warned him not to return to my property, and that I don't give him anything. They gave me a police report number and said now that it's on record that he was told by us not to come, just call them back and he'll be arrested for trespassing. We couldn't do anything yesterday because you didn't have the no trespassing sign. Alright, right off the bat, OP, you are not the beehole. But, OP, why didn't you go get the trespassing sign? They're cheap. I think they're like maybe $3-5. Go get a no trespassing sign. Because sounds like you could have had him handled a lot sooner. But yeah, you are not the beehole. This man is crazy. Why? And really facey too. Like, oh, my stuff's gonna come here. Just give it to me. No, you idiot. Go get it changed. I'm glad you returned all his stuff. Do not give in to him. Do not give him crap. And if it's good stuff, I mean, I'm not condoning this, but if he orders a nice TV or a nice, graphics card or something, maybe keep it. I don't know, maybe. And yeah, that sounds about right for police things. I watch a lot of investigation discovery stuff, and there's a lot of stalking ones that end up not well. I'm not saying this is stalking, but I'm just saying, or there's like, I think evil neighbors, stuff like that. So it sounds like this might escalate because the guy sounds like an idiot and he sounds like he might try to get physical. So good thing you kept calling the police. It sounds like it'll finally be over when he knocks again, and I do not doubt that he will knock again because he sounds like a buffoon. So OP, you are not the beehole. I personally would carry, maybe if I were you, I'd carry a taser, maybe some pepper spray, because it sounds like this guy's an idiot, like I said, and usually idiots, will try to attack people because, well, they're idiots. And that's what I usually see on these shows when it comes to neighbors beefing. So OP, not the beehole. Please stay safe, get something to protect yourself with, because, And our final one comes from Ultimate Hunter G. Am I the beehole for telling my aunt to pay for her own Peacock Premium account when she didn't like the profile picture I set for my profile? Gonna keep this one brief. Me. I'm a college student, so I had a way of signing up for Peacock Premium for a reduced rate. I originally got it for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but I have branched out. They also have La Brea, which is a mom and I show. I guess he meant to say which is a mom show. Plus, I have engaged in some of my guilty pleasures. The Trolls movie series. That said, since Five Nights at Freddy's holds a special place in my heart, the PFP I set for myself is Freddy Fazbear himself. Either way, this is not about that. You might be wondering why my aunt has my Peacock account. The answer is my uncle. My dad, my fiancée, Mara, and I went to go visit my grandparents, and turns out my Uncle Jerry was visiting from out of state. We visited on a football night, so my grandfather, my dad, and my Uncle Jerry were trying to watch the game. Bad news. Whatever my grandpa uses to get his channels on TV failed. Uncle Jerry said we could use Peacock to watch it, but since they don't have an account, they needed to pay for it. This is where I came in. I signed in on his iPad, and they watched it for a bit there, but then they wanted to scale it up, so I signed in on my grandparents' Fire Stick. Simple as that. They enjoyed the game, and we soon left for home. A few days pass, and I don't hear anything, but I get a text from my aunt, Melinda, Jerry's wife, saying, "You need to change the picture on your Peacock account. It's too scary for me and the kids." Uncle Jerry has two sons, and they are 10 and 7 respectively. They are also very much of the Christian faith, so I bring that up because their household is not conducive to horror. However, Freddy holds a dear place in my heart, for many reasons that I won't outline here. I told Aunt Melinda that I don't want to, and she said that I still needed to. Then I told her if you don't want to see Freddy every time you open Peacock, get your own account, and stop responding. Aunt Melinda isn't a particularly vindictive person, so I think that's why she didn't respond directly to me after that. Later on, I got a call from Dad asking what happened, and I had to explain. He wasn't mad per se, but wasn't exactly proud. Here's everyone's opinion. Aunt Melinda wants me to apologize and change my profile pic. Uncle Jerry says I should consider doing it for Aunt Melinda and the boys. Yeah, no. Dad says I have a point and that it's my prerogative, but says there will be an impact. Mariah says that since I'm the one paying for the account, I have the final say. Mom told me I wasn't in the wrong at all, and I should change my password and sign out of all devices that aren't mine. I am mentally at a stalemate personally. Should I give this up? Should I just change it? I think it'll all blow over. Reddit. Am I the beehole? Okay, OP. Before you get started, you are not the beehole. I'm going to answer this one by the little breakdown that you have at the end. Your aunt wants you to apologize and change your profile pic. No, you did nothing wrong, and it's your Peacock Premium thingy. So, you should be able to use whatever the hell you want for your profile pic. So, not that one. Uncle Jerry says I should consider doing it for Aunt and the boys. No, that is, her husband, so of course he's going to side with her and the boys. Again, this is not their account. They have no say. It is your account, so no to that one. Dad says I have a point and that it's my prerogative, but says it'll be an impact. Your dad sounds like he wants to do that whole stay out of it crap. No, do not listen to him. Yeah, it'll have an impact. She'll, I don't know, be angry at you. Who cares? Again, it is not her account, it is your account. And then we have Mariah, who says, since you're the one paying for the account, you have the final say. I agree with that, but still not 100%. And then we come to the one I agree with 100%, and who's the winner of this? Your mom. She sounds very smart. She told you weren't in the wrong at all, and you should change your password and sign out all devices that aren't yours. There you go. That's the proper answer. That's the one you should immediately do. No hesitating, no thinking about it. Again, that is not their thing. That is not their streaming service that they're paying for. That's very nice of you that you are letting them stream. I don't know if that's your deal. It sounds like you just logged in to let them see the game and you didn't log out. Personally, if you do that again, make sure to log out because these people are they're trying to take advantage of you, and they're leeching off of you, and then they have the chutzpah to tell you what to do with your own account. Again, no, that is your account. Do not let them dictate to you what you should do with the thing you are paying for, OP. Do what your mom said. She sounds like a wise woman. Kick them all off and only keep it to your devices and people you want, you allow to watch it. So, OP, you're not the beehole. Listen to your mom. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.